I do not need gift cards from Walmart. I will buy my own Texas Roadhouse, okay? So that's what you can tell them. Now, I want to jump into some economic news to help you understand why it's the year of the broker, okay? So I'm going to go straight to housing, and I'm going to start with housing. Okay, first of all, the housing market, again, this is according to the Kiplinger Letter. The housing market is in the doldrums. I thought that was an interesting headline. The housing market is in the doldrums. But subtle shifts are finally on the way as a slow but needed recalibration plays out in 2026. Elevated mortgage rates are the top problem weighing on home sales and affordability, along with limited inventory and soaring prices. After sitting around 7% at the start of the year, the 30-year fixed rate now averages 6.2%. Meanwhile, insurance costs and property taxes have shot up, offsetting the benefit of slightly lower mortgage rates. No state has experienced this more than Florida. State of Florida, property taxes and insurance rates have gone up crazy. So even rates at 4 make that market challenging because it's so expensive to own in that area. It's not prohibitive, you just have to find better deals. While affordability has improved marginally over the last quarters in most metros in the U.S., it is still much worse than 5 years ago. Many aspiring homebuyers have given up on purchasing a home during the past 5 years. However, even with home ownership now out of reach for many young adults, it's still a goal for most folks. This is the part I want you to understand. While housing is out of reach for many young adults, it's still a goal for most folks. They go on to say that it's worth noting. Renters who see buying as bad margin, what's lacking is the means, not the will. I argue this. I don't believe that means or will is lacking. What I believe is lacking is education on how to buy good real estate in good markets at good prices with good terms with strong motivated sellers. Because if you know that, you can buy in any market, at any time, in any place. The reason homeowners aren't buying more properties or buying diverse properties is because they don't know what we know. If they did, they would already own a home. They'd already be buying rental property, okay? Now, as the market continues to rebalance, sellers can no longer call the shots. And here is the one I want you to focus in on. Sellers no longer call the shots. This is what we refer to as a buyer's market. A buyer's market is where there's an abundance of inventory, a shortage of buyers, and for sellers to be able to sell the property, they have to offer up all these concessions. Yesterday, I signed an addendum on a deal where we are contributing $35,000 to a buyer to give them a new roof on a house that we've been sitting on for a couple of years. We can't give this thing away, and so we are giving this thing away by putting a $35,000 roof on the house. We would have never done that 2.5 years ago. We wouldn't have even thought to do that because nobody would have asked. But in this market, you can ask for some pretty crazy stuff. You need down payment assistance, you need 100% of your down payment covered. This is the market to do that in. Okay, so a buyer's market is one where sellers are becoming more and more desperate. That's the market we're in. So when do you buy? Now. Now is the time. Buyers are willing to spend more in neighborhoods that offer certain amenities. Let's see, many homeowners will decide they can no longer postpone moves due to life events, career-driven moves, retirement, kids growing up, and will finally list their homes. For those looking to sell in the coming year, there are several things that home buyers can do to stand out, like offering home warranties to ease buyer concerns about repairs. In terms of remodeling projects, a new front door, new windows, closet renovations, and converting basements into living areas offer the best return on investment for homeowners at resale. I thought those were some interesting things. A new front door, new windows, and closet renovations. Did you guys know that closets are no longer required to consider a bedroom a bedroom? No. You no longer need closets to call it a bedroom. Now you need an egress window, but you don't need a closet because a lot of people will put in an armoire or something like that. So closets aren't necessary to get the appraisal or call it a bedroom. Just know that. Look for more homeowners to tap in home equity. Okay, here's the reason why it's the year of the broker. This line right here. Strong home value appreciation over the past few years means many homeowners have sizable equity, okay, to the tune of $17 trillion is trapped in equity. Now, when they say home equity, I'm going to change that term. I'm going to call it property equity because it's not all owner-occupied properties that have this equity. It's all properties have equity that's trapped. Trapped equity means my house was $150, now it's worth $300. I have $150,000 in value, but I can only get access to it in one of two ways. I can sell, which I don't want to do because now I got to go buy something else, or I can refinance, tap into the $150,000, get access to the equity that way. What do you suppose people are going to do? They're going to refinance. Okay, I was talking with a real estate investor just last night, and he said, now's not a good time to sell, so I'm just going to hold it and rent. I'm just going to rent it out. Now, why is he doing that? Because it's not a good time to sell. It's a buyer's market. You don't sell in a buyer's market. You sell in a seller's market. When there's limited inventory and a massive influx of buyers where rates are low, that's when you sell. So he says, I'm not going to sell. I'm just going to hold it as a rental. But what he's going to do before he rents it out, he's going to refinance it, tap the equity so he has the cash, and then he can cash flow on the investment. That allows them to take out home equity lines of credit or do a cash out refinance to fund remodels before putting up a for sale sign this spring. Now, I talked about this yesterday or last week. I'm going to mention it again. What many investors should be doing right now is they should be tapping their equity, pulling it out, and then putting an ADU on the property to increase the cash value. That's what they should be doing. Okay? So talk about that strategy when you're on the phone with them. Also be aware if they don't own their own home, they should. And the first investment deal that they're going to do when they get involved with our organization is they're going to buy their own home. We're going to take them from being an apartment dweller to being a homeowner. Okay? That's goal number one. The Federal Reserve cut short-term interest rates by 1/4 point in December. That brings the short-term rate to 3.5, but expect the Fed to stand pat. It goes on to say, it talks about Jerome Powell, who will be out in May. We should be seeing a new Fed chair in May, and the Fed is likely to cut interest rates only twice more next year. Although if you looked at the jobs report for November, it was not good. Only 67,000 jobs were created in November. In a good year, or in a good month, it's 144,000 minimally. So with only 69,000 jobs created, the jobs report isn't improving. Rates will have to come down. So I'm holding to my prediction. By March, rates will be below 6 on all the top four, FHA, VA, USD, and 30-year conventional. Those will be below 6 by March. Okay, two more things I want you to be aware of. One, the Trump administration proposed $2,000 tariff checks. So anybody who is making less than $75,000 per year is set to get $2,000. Such checks would stimulate the economy and would cost less than $315 billion than the expected annual tariff revenue of $400 billion. So this is being talked about. Trump wants to send everybody a check for $2,000 if you make less than $75,000 a year, but it's going to cost the taxpayers $315 billion. Likelihood of this happening, like 90-10. 90% not going to happen, 10% going to happen. Just wanted you to be aware of it so you don't overspend at Christmas time because you think Trump's sending you $2,000. Probably not going to happen. What is going to happen, however, is Trump's going to give your kids $2,000. All right? So I wanted to share this with you. 6 things to know about Trump accounts. That's the actual title for children. Okay? Number 1, who qualifies? Trump's Invest America program gives every child under 18 with a Social Security number access to a federally overseen savings and investment account that families can activate beginning July 4th, 2026. How many of you right now have kids under the age of 18? Okay, so every one of your children qualifies for this account. July 4th, 2026 is when you can start applying for it. Michael Dell, the founder of Dell Computers, has already contributed $615 billion. Now let me make sure I get this right. That's too much. 6.5 billion, where's the number? It's a lot. There it is, 6.25 billion. Michael Dell has already contributed 6.25 billion to these accounts, okay? The Dell's gift means that accounts seeded with $250 will also become available to 25 million children aged 10 and under in zip codes where the median income is $150,000 or less, okay? So if you live in Kootenai County, you're probably not gonna qualify. If you live, well, let me qualify that. It's not counties, it's zip codes, okay? So if you live in a lot of zip codes in Post Falls, Rathdrum, Athol, income levels are below $150,000, so your kids would qualify in those markets. According to guidance released by the IRS, contributions to Trump accounts can be made, not be made before July 4th, but parents who want to take advantage of the Dell Family Program should visit trumpaccounts.gov. Okay, so that's where you're going to go, trumpaccounts.gov. And by the way, at Christmas time, if you share this with other friends and family who have kids under 18, you're going to be a superstar hero at Christmas time. Accounts.gov is where you go for this. Children born on or after January 1st, 2025 will automatically receive a $1,000 treasury. Did anybody have a new child in 2025 after January 1st? We know that Tony did. Lucas, you did. Anybody else? Oh, I thought Amy was raising her hand. I'm like, really, Amy? Okay, so for you guys, your child already has $1,000 deposited at birth, and families and community members may contribute up to $5,000 total per year. Employers may contribute up to $2,500 annually to an employee's child, and philanthropic or government contributions are uncapped. This is a way you can gift money to your kids and not pay taxes on it. When the children turn 18, they can withdraw the funds for qualified purposes, such as paying tuition, buying a home, or starting a business. Families who sign up for the Trump accounts will answer questions about eligibility and investments, after which the account will be available for deposits from donors and the child's family members. After a child reaches adulthood, the money will automatically convert to a traditional individual retirement account, IRA, and the funds can keep growing. Money withdrawn for non-qualifying purposes will be taxed as ordinary income. According to economists at the Milken Institute, the $1,000 newborn seed deposit could grow into more than $8,000 after 20 years, assuming historical average returns. What do y'all think of this? Is this a good idea? Click below to schedule your business development consulting call and start learning.